Hello everyone and welcome to the 60X Business Show. My name is Christian Kitumaini and together with my guest, we'll have different conversations about business, entrepreneurship and life. This is the show you've been waiting for. Stay tuned. In today's conversation, I have an amazing entrepreneur. She's the CEO and founder of Love, which is a startup here in Rwanda that produces eco-friendly bags, commonly known as tote bags. And in the studio, she's London Gloria Girabawe. Gloria, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
It's really a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
How have you been?
I've been great. I'm very excited for the show.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you can be able to make it. So on the 60X, you'll be spinning the wheel and randomly you will select a number and from there I'll ask you a question. Are you ready?
I am.
Over to you. What is your lucky number?
I think it's a 4.
Okay.
It's already on a 4, so
let's hope you
see.
get your lucky number.
Okay.
You just
Almost there.
You just missed, but you almost got there.
Yeah.
Can you share with me more who is Gloria growing up as a kid? What were your dreams and passion?
Okay, so Gloria was a very lively child. Also a sneaky one because I used to be in school. I loved school. I had good grades, but I was always like drawing things, sneaking around, not really doing what I should be doing in class. But yeah, Gloria was a lively kid. I'm the firstborn among 4 other kids, and I have both parents. I'm now doing my undergraduate degree. So yeah, that's pretty much it about my life.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And do you have a moment in life where you realize that entrepreneurship is really your goal?
Yes, absolutely. Because I've always identified as someone who was for women empowerment. Since I was a small kid, I used to think about like what would I be in the future. So I always like pinpointed women in bigger spaces. I used to see journalists. I remember by my age, we used to have like one journalist who was a woman. I still remember her. It was Evelyn.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to be like her. And then the next moment, I was like, I want to be an air hostess. I want to be like something that puts a woman out there. And for long, I've always driven my career towards women empowerment, but now it came to a point where I'm doing business but also empowering women. So I really believe this was my calling from when I was a kid. And
to be honest, you living your passion, you living your dreams, empowering women.
Absolutely.
How does that make you feel? Promoting women empowerment at the same time contributing to the country economic growth?
It's a really satisfying career, I would say. It's very challenging because when you start with really small capital and you have to find your way around, especially when you've grown in an environment where you didn't have many entrepreneurs to look up to, it's challenging. But at the same time, I'm very, very glad to be in a generation where our government is doing all they can to put women in business out there, to give us as much opportunities, and also the society understanding that things that are made here from Rwanda are things they can trust. And yeah, it's a good time to be alive.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Let's spin the wheel for another round of questions. You got 5. What's going to be your next lucky number? Are you sure you're going to get 4?
No. Absolutely no.
You got number 7.
Yeah.
Can you share with me more about your products, the tote bags? I've seen ladies having them on the streets, and they look so beautiful, by the way. Can you share with me what makes your product unique out there, and walk me through the background, because they're recycled materials you use. Walk us through about all the production process and also what makes the finished product unique.
Okay, maybe to give you like a little background of how I came up with the product. I was joining uni and I used to have a bag which I really loved. I got it from my mother, and at a certain point I had to change it because it was getting old. So I went through all the markets in Chimironho, in town, and everything that is made from here was kind of the same. It was made from kitenge, and I'm naturally a person who wants to see like a different touch. So I was like, I'm not really getting the product I want. How about I make one? So like with the thing I told you about me drawing in school and what, I designed it and then brought it to a tailor, brought it to life, and when I got to school, everyone loved it because first of all, it was like a tote bag is normally a bag that is very spacious, so it can carry everything. So I'm naturally a person who carries like their whole life in a bag.
Can carry all your life into
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, it was very big. It was something that is new. It was something that is needed on the market because if you're to look around, the younger population here in Rwanda is like the biggest, and most people are going to school, going to work. So this is a tool that is needed everywhere. So what I would say is very unique about our product is that they're made from Rwanda, but with another creative touch, which is kind of different from the norm. Where now made in Rwanda products have to be made from migongo, from you see like those kind of things that they use. So that's the unique touch, and also the fact that we try to make our products relatable in terms of like the lifestyle you can have it in. It's a product you can bring in hangouts. It's a product you can go to work with. It's a product you can go shopping with. So it also embodies like the environmentally sustainability thing that we want to have here in Rwanda. Instead of like encouraging fast fashion, like always buying a bag for a certain occasion, we are narrowing it down to having a bag that can do everything and still look good.
Beautiful. That's nice. And I've checked your websites. There are even my friend in the studio with me who is having one of your bag, which is really amazing. And my follow-up question: can you share with me how does it feel to be an entrepreneur?
So being an entrepreneur is really it's rewarding. It's rewarding, but at the same time very challenging. As I said, when I started this journey, I didn't have a lot of people to look up to, especially because we started in the pandemic. So a lot of things were very, very vague for me, and finding the person I can sit with, tell them my challenges, for them to show me like how to go around it. It was very challenging, but at the same time, I'm very glad that at this point of life I'm doing entrepreneurship, even though I never thought I would do it. But yeah, it's a very rewarding journey, especially when you attach it with your passion, which I'm already doing. So yeah.
Beautiful. Let's spin the wheel for another round of questions. You got 5, 7, let's see. Probably you got something plus 1. No, 8 is closer to 7. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you share with me about, you said you started your business during a pandemic. And most businesses face a lot of challenges. Can you share what are the challenges that you faced running your business in the pandemic? And how are you approaching those challenges? And what are some of the lessons that you've learned that maybe going to help you run your venture in the next 7 years?
So I would say our challenges for businesses which started in the pandemic, like our challenges are quite different from the ones who already existing and had to adapt to the new hit of us being online and all. So my business started online, and we already had an online visibility. We had people were buying from us from online, but with me seeing that this is actually progressing and that I might never ever maybe want to have like a physical shop, I had to adapt to it in terms of like now creating a strong sales system. Whereby I took my time to create my own website. I took it upon myself to now reach out to people, like people with big visibility, so that they can also give us visibility through their platforms, like influencers. I had to like find my way through getting to my target audience without necessarily being with them. So that also came along with now knowing really who my target audience is, like knowing who my client is. I had to talk to different people. They didn't know me physically, but they knew there was like a figure behind Flav, always constantly asking them for feedback. What can we improve? Where do you see there is a mistake? Also in terms of deliveries, like this was something that is very new for people. I'd say we really had the demand, but understanding for a customer to understand how a product is gonna come to them without them actually seeing it first, it was also something challenging, but we had to find our way.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's amazing. And what are some of the things, like top 3 things that you've learned? You started this journey during a pandemic. As you said, you were juggling around from building a website, building a sales funnel, reaching out to influencers to try to create the momentum. What are like top 3 things you've learned about this journey that you really had no clue about before you started?
That is a good question. So I always talk about this, but I didn't know, okay, we understand that there is a downtown in the economy, but we don't really understand it unless you're like buying things in bulk and you have to maybe go buy a machine to make things. I didn't know things were this expensive. So I had to be really clever about how I managed the money, especially because I was self-made. This is a business I started with very little capital, and I had to invest back. So I had to really be clever about how I'm using the money and to make sure I understand where is my vision. And another thing I learned is I have to, in order for you to do a business, you can't just put a product out there and expect that people are gonna come and buy it. So it's very, very key to understand who your target customer is and what can you do for them to be a recurring customer. Because the recurring customer is most likely to go and spread the word and talk about your product because they've experienced you a couple of times. They know like how your system goes. They know everything about you. So I had to really understand who my target customer is, and I feel like that was very important for me in my entrepreneurial journey. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's so amazing. And you talked earlier about how big the bag is, how you can put your whole life into that, which seems to be a good deal for a lot of ladies out there. For an average Rwandan girl who maybe would like to get fluff bags, how affordable are your bags and how easily can they find them? Do you have, can they just reach out to you online and make the order and it's going to be delivered? Do you have some shopping point where they can just easily find you? Can you share more about that?
Yeah, so our products are in the range of $10 to 25, which is very affordable for a person between the age of 18 to 35, which is our main customer base. And how they can find us is through our online platforms. We have a website. You just have to type flow.website, and you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we also have some selling points in Kigali. We have a pop-up shop in Go Bananas. It's in Kiyovu. We are also opening up a new one in the gift shop in Patisserie Royale. It's also in Kimihurura. So yeah, it's very easy. You just sit down and make your order, and in 45 minutes it will be on your gate. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I know a lot of people care a lot about quality. How do you ensure the product are of high quality? And I remember you also do recycled products, use recycled products. Where do you get your raw materials as well?
So we normally our like sustainability model is using the fabrics that we like. There are scraps when you're making any apparel. There are scraps which are leftovers. So those leftovers are used in order to do new ones. And what was the question again?
Huh?
What was the question again?
The question?
Yes.
It's like, where do you get the raw materials and how do you ensure quality?
Okay, so we get them from our suppliers here. They get them from different countries abroad. And how we ensure our quality is we've really tried to like get product engineers, people who've been in this business for a long time, to show us a way that we can make quality standards that are acceptable in the market. We still have a long way to go because this is a new business, but so far so good. With those product engineers, we are quite sure of the quality we are providing on the market.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And do you sell only to individuals, or you can also sell to corporates, where because corporates represent these people have money, they can really buy in bulks compared to individuals. Do you combine the two, or what's your current sales strategy now?
Yeah, I'm very grateful you asked that question because actually we target individuals as well as corporate organizations. Usually tote bags are really good marketing strategies or tools for companies. We've worked with several companies, and to mention a few if I can on your show.
Yes, you can.
We worked with BK, we worked with Kasha Rwanda, we worked with PwC, we worked with African Management Institute. So there is really a lot of companies who have trusted us, and we've been able to deliver, and the feedback is really good so far, because you may give a bottle of water to someone with branded your company, but I'm not sure that is something they're always gonna carry, or which will not be in a bag. So why not actually brand a bag, which is something everyone can carry all around, as a marketing tool for your company? So that is also another revenue stream that we are targeting. And if any company is willing to work with us, please, you're welcome.
Wonderful. And for a young Rwandan or African girl watching you now, what advice can you share with them if they are trying to venture into entrepreneurship?
Okay, my first advice that I tend to also tell a lot of people is there is never a good time to start. You can start now with what you have. Most people are like, where will I get the capital from? No, the capital can also be yourself. As long as you believe there is a good reason, there is an enough good reason that you're doing this, then please go ahead. And another thing I would say, it's very common that most people tend to do what others are doing because they think it's successful. But there is actually a reason why a business is successful. It's not about the product mostly, but it's about like which problem are you solving and how do you go about it. So I would really encourage young girls to go out there, venture into something by making sure that there is a problem that they're solving, or maybe there is a really not good reason that you're starting this, and from there you'll be good to go. Yeah.
Wonderful. You pointed something very, very close and dear to my heart, like trying to solve a problem. It's very, very key, especially for entrepreneurs or people venturing into the business world. It's the core basic foundation. It's identify a problem that you personally facing, or maybe your friends, your community, your country, your region is facing, and try to find a solution to that, and then build a business model around that. Don't fall into the trap of trying to just become an entrepreneur and create a problem where there is no problem just for starting, and then you don't have the market.
Absolutely.
You are coming to Gloria and tell her, do you see this product? Would you like it? Did I tell you I need it, right? You need to identify what are the problems you are facing, your market is facing, and try to create a solution around that. My follow-up question is, if you could start over in business and make money, what business would you start and why?
That is very tricky because I have a lot in mind, but I've thought about a lot of things. So aside from fashion, or maybe still in fashion?
Just share what comes to your mind. You can share as many ideas as you can.
So really,
like the one that comes number one on your head.
Number one on my head is like having clothes that are relaxed. In this Rwanda, we are still clothing. We have clothes that are very tight. You're not breathing. You're not. Like, people need to embrace the new like being relaxed.
Like Sonia Mugabe clothes?
Yeah, I see a lot of brands coming up with clothes, but still which are not giving space to relax. So that is one thing, because I'm a person who loves to feel comfort. So if I was to venture into another fashion business, I'll do that. But also, I love coffee. I think there's more to coffee that we haven't explored in Rwanda, especially
like what?
I'd say most of the coffee that is being served here in Rwanda, it's not natural coffee. It's mostly extracted coffee. I don't really know the exact terms, but the coffee that is exported is way good than the one that remains here. And
okay, so you mean
we need to really have
the first quality.
The first quality of coffee, and I think people here can afford it. It's more about like understanding that we also deserve to have that good taste that people know about that we don't really know about. So yeah, I'll venture into coffee and still find a way to align it with women empowerment. Yeah.
Okay, I think there are a few companies that are doing the grade one coffee. There are not many, but it's a good idea. If you could wake up, let's assume you wake up in 2060, what headline would you like to see in the news about your business?
I'd love to see the headline. It will be in Forbes. I'd love to be featured on Forbes, saying that I've been able to employ half the women, the teenage mothers in Rwanda. At least half of them, because the numbers are really crazy. Because in the past 5 years, the number is approximately 100,000 of teenage mothers. Most of them are abandoned by their families after the situation, and they don't really have a way to sustain their lives and their children's. So I'd really love to see Fluff out there on Forbes talking about how we've changed the whole narrative of mothers being abandoned by their own families instead of helping them sustain their lives.
That is 38 from now, 38 years from now. So you still have a long way to go.
Yes.
But I'm sure you can reach there, okay?
Absolutely.
I would like also to understand, you lead a big team, right?
Yes.
How does it feel to be a leader?
Being a leader is very complicated, but also interesting, because you always have to find your way through things. You have to understand people and understand everyone from where they're coming from and try to align them in the path that you are going. So it's always like pulling people so that they go in the same path. So being a leader is really interesting. It makes the brain work more, and it also gives you, I would say, the ability to be a continuous learner. Yeah, to always understand that you have to learn, because you always face things and you're like, how comes I don't know about this? I need to learn about this, learn from people, learn from yourself, from the experiences out there. So I really love being a learner and a leader.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And can you share with us, what is the future plan of your company?
So I always set goals. By 2050, we want to be the leading manufacturer of handbags in Rwanda, and we want to have employed at least 50 to 70 teenage mothers. And from there, by 2050, we also want to be registered as now a B Corp company that will be manufacturing for other local brands here in Rwanda.
And how is the competition right now? Do you face a lot of competition?
Yes, there is a competition, but it's not a very overcrowded market. So there is still space for other people to join. But you know, Rwanda, the competition is always there. So you have to. It's a running country, so you always have to also be on your mark.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me wrap up this conversation with my last question. What impact would you like to create in your community with the work that you do?
The first impact I would say is, first of all, I almost tend to refer Flove as a people brand. I really want our products to touch the youth. I want them to understand that they're people who are capable, people who can do a lot of amazing things out there. And with the teenage mothers, with our social impact, I want to really see people changing from having to change all their dreams just because of one thing that happened in their lives, to go and sustain their dreams even after encountering such moments of being abandoned by their families. So there is really the impact that we want to create with Flove.
Wonderful. Yeah. And good luck with that impact.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And by that, we are coming to the end of this conversation. And my guest was Gloria Girabawe, who is the CEO and founder of Flove. The conversation continues on social media using the hashtag 60xbusiness. Till next time, be safe, wash your hands, wear your mask. My name is Christian Kitumaini, and you're watching KC2.